front diff that is broken off the frame and falling out of the truck. I can't move that at all. Good, they didn't use hardly any RTV. That ain't right. You can see I've gone full Douglas on this deal. Who designed this? Oh yeah, me. Feels kind of bindy like it's in four-wheel drive. Welcome back to the old two-stroker YouTube channel. My name's Wayne. This is some junk. And today, you guessed it, we're gonna pud pound it to death. On this channel, as you know, we like to buy garbage and then second guess our life choices. So part of that is this lovely Suburban I just had to have. You can see we're on the lift. And in the last video, we got to take it for its first ride since we owned it. I'm still kind of meh on the shifting. We're going to have to kind of ride the struggle bus with that a little bit, I think. But that's not subject to today's video. The subject of today's video is how to straighten out a 500,000 mile Chevy Suburban. Now, sometimes over your 500,000 miles, you're going to notice some things like, well, for example, front diff that is broken off the frame and falling out of the truck. No charge. So, I think for today's episode, I'm gonna try and sneak this out of here. I don't know how it's gonna go. Now, this was probably not gonna happen to all of you. I think this is a victim of the modifications made to this truck to get it to where it is. And what I mean by that is, all these mounts, well, maybe not that one. Yeah, that one. All these mounts are somewhat reconfigured. You can see that that's like kind of caught. I don't know. This thing's been played with. That one might be factory. This one's definitely been changed around and or has already broke off of there at one point. And then there's one up there. You see it? There's nothing holding it. It's just laying on the steering. No big deal. So you can see it over there where it was cut away from the frame. I'm assuming they did that when they put a starter in. I don't know, but it's pretty sketchy. It's also broke away from the frame. Let me show you.
But wait, there's more.
It's also broke away from the frame over here. Which is the double shear point of that mount, so that needs to be addressed. Basically, I think the only way for me to really do this is to unbolt the diff and get it right out of here. And then hopefully we can get the grinders up in there and clean and try and find a way to weld this back together. Boy, you can see it's goofy. They've got that spaced down away from that mount. Oh man, this isn't going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm kind of dreading it, to be honest with you. But anyway, here we go. Oh, that worked swimmingly. God, these bolts are disgusting. This thing is a mess, fellas. I had to change my hoodie because I'm just ruining them. Well, this. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Just slip it like that. It'll come right out of there. I ain't scared. Really, dude? grease on this thing, fellas, is next level. Show you a trick. Hopefully it doesn't make a liar out of me. When I do these, most people jam a pickle fork in here, ruins your boots. I don't do that. I don't like to hit the nut because that usually messes it up. But if you hit the knuckle, a lot of times the shock is enough to get that to drop. So, same. There we go. Violence. Favorite. Oh, you fucker. Of course, it's different sizes. It's 200 years of aftermarket shit put on it. That's inconvenient. Sick. Oops. There she goes. It's all tight though, at least. Not wore out, which is shocking for the miles on this thing. Ooh, bigger. Fancy. How much bigger? 21. I don't know if I can get this bitch in there, but I'm gonna try. Oh yeah. And that was way easier than I thought it was gonna be. Hit it with your purse. Jeez, that was like a light tap. I don't know. I don't think that bolt's going to come out of there. I really don't think it is. It's not looking good for this thing staying here, fellas. 2 inches, and the bolt is 4.5 inches long. Smart. Put 85 cuts in the oil pan. You couldn't put one there. This is definitely how they put the starter in. Alright, so here's that other mount. Which, tell me it doesn't come out of there. I am gonna lose my absolute noodle. Look at this disaster. That weld wasn't even... I don't know, dude. I just don't know. That's why it broke, because there's nothing... I don't know, dude. I just don't know. So then, if I want to get this bar out of here, which I kind of do, I got to pull the oil pan out. I'm wondering if they reinforce this so that... it was welded there at one point and just broke off. I don't know, dude. This whole thing is just... It's got me struggling. Dude, it's just like booger welded. There's zero penetration there. Alright, fellas. Just took the diff out of the parts washer along with that bracket. And, I think somebody's lying to old Wayno. Because, I was told the four-wheel drive works. Spins fine. That's locked up solid. I can't move that at all. That, don't seem right, boys. I don't think it's supposed to be hard to turn. Something ain't right. I'm gonna have to pull it down, see what's going on in there. It's really looking like this might be a two-wheel drive truck from now on. Here, fellas, let's see what's wrong with this thing. It's bothering the shit out of me, so. That's good. Nice and tight. Good. They didn't use hardly any RTV. Dang, old washer seen better days. I just don't get the warm and fuzzies about the way that rotates, though. Dang it, boys. Went all the way to friggin' Neighbor Kids. Got a dang old friggin' adapter that I needed. And then I had lunch, and I forgot that this thing was potentially going to bleed all over the place. Idiot, bro! Let's see how many LBs this is. Way too many. Way too many. She's got to come apart. But it doesn't make sense. There's like nothing really in the fluid. Why does that lock up like that? It's so bizarre. I've never seen one do that. Like it just gets tight sitting there. Too many, dude. It's way over 30. Definitely needs an axle seal. See, it's dented in on the one side. Looks like somebody drove it in. It up. I mean, maybe there's nothing wrong with it, but it's, dude, we can't hardly move it. Ugh, it's super growly, dude. It's got to be this bearing is junk. I wonder if I was smart, what I would do is probably, let's blow that nut off of there. I don't know if somebody was just in here. I don't know what the story is here, but something. I wonder if that crush collar was just too tight. Like, cause these are a crush. Now it's way easier to move. Whatever, dude. Put that anywhere. Holy shit. That feels more like it should. That thing was way too tight, I think. Come on. Got her. Don't be our genius. Ugh. Ugh. Why do guys do that? Why do you have to sniff anything when you know it's going to be bad? Why? Why isn't the fluid all metallic-y and gross with that pinion bearing that tight? That should be eating the pinion right out of this thing. Maybe there's nothing wrong with it, but my ninja intuition tells me otherwise. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a good sign. Those bearings feel pretty good too. Ring gear looks minty. And this don't look bad. I just feel like there's some glitter sparkle Barbie in there. Yep. I'm gonna call Schwackert. See what he has to say about this. I've never been into one of these GMT 400s, and I'm sure he has. Over there at Doug's Auto where we did the dyno day. That guy's pretty sharp, I'll tell you what. So I'll give him a shout and see what he thinks about this pinion situation, because Old Wayno says it's no bueno, but old Wayno's been wrong before. I know, it doesn't happen often. Old Schwackert says Uncle Wayno's right, and this thing is pooched. But we gotta get it apart to find out how bad. Like a glove. Let's see what she looks like, eh? Crush sleeve, what the fuck? I hate those things. Jeez, they don't look. It doesn't look terrible. I think we're gonna put pinion bearings in it though, just because it was way too tight for probably way too long. I'm gonna pop that whole pinion race out of there in one shot. What do you think about that? Pinion race and seal. You think we can do that? Probably not. We're gonna try though. Try not to hit the face of the thing, you idiot. There you go, just like that. It's definitely more metallic-y right here, but by golly, dude, they feel fine. Never seen anything like it. I would have thought that thing would be, you can kind of feel it. It doesn't feel great. And I know why it doesn't feel great. So we're just going to do pinion bearings, pinion seal, crush sleeve. If I can't, I might reuse this. I don't know, we'll see. If they have one, I'll get one. But if I can't get one quickly, I'll reuse that. And then it's going to get axle seals, but I ain't touching, I'm touching nothing else. It's gonna get the same shim. We're not looking at pattern, nothing. Jamming bearings in it and friggin' sending it. Alright fellas, so I was just over cleaning up this side of the case in the parts washer. And then I went to blow it out there and I found something. I blew it out there and the carrier race comes screaming out at me. And it's still reasonably tight, but zoom in here. Focus, you. There you go. No bueno. So, I'm thinking that's where some of the metal came from. I'm going to show you fellas a trick. It's still tight, it's not wallowed out, so we can save it. Alright fellas, here's how we're going to save this case. Alright. Now, show you. Oh, you can kind of see it. See that? So we went all the way around it. The gym even gives you like these nice little handy lines, like they knew where framing. They give you these handy lines in the case where they know you're gonna have to do this because it's garbage. So that's good. I'm gonna get it real clean now, and then before we set that back in there, we're gonna have to kind of tap it in now because it's gonna be real tight. When you use a punch, everybody uses it because it creates a dent, but that material has to go somewhere, so it actually like blooms out and it creates kind of a high spot too. And the high spots are what we need. So that's gonna grip onto that friggin' doodly doo, and then we're gonna green Loctite it also around the outside of where that race is, and then it won't go anywhere. Life is merry. Retained forever, or at least until the diff seizes. Okay, now what I've done is I supported it from the bottom side so that it doesn't change our setting at all. That's it. Alright, fellas, we got this. I put the pinion in it. I skipped a little bit ahead of you. I didn't replace the bearings. I don't know if it's going to bite me or not. It's set to like 15, 17 inch-pounds. It's going to have to do it. We just cleaned up the case, so now we can get the juice. Okay, a couple things you want to remember. Most critically is the center. You're gonna need that. Well, here goes nothing. Slides right on, very nice. Alright, now, quick to the torquing section. Yeah, so apparently these get all the foot-pounds, 55. Huh. Also, you gotta use thread locker, I had to take it back apart. I think. What a treat. Alright, I will bring you back when we get further. Alright. There's that. That's kind of goofy. Ooh. It's a little tore up. I didn't even see that. Yeah. Not freaking great. Whatever. It's good enough for what it's for. So, wait a minute. I think there's supposed to be something in there. I think there's supposed to be a bearing in here that accepts that. That doesn't seem right that just hangs out all willy-nilly. And I for sure do not have a bearing anywhere. What centers that? There's got to be something centers this thing. That ain't right. I'm telling you that ain't right. Ain't my first day, but that ain't right. There's no way. Even for this Cavalier front end piece of shit, that ain't right. Well, boys, your old Uncle Wayno was right again. So for anybody who has one of these pieces of shit, GM doesn't list this part number separately. They want you to buy that whole gear. But yeah, SCH78 That's the part number. Big thanks to Mike Swackert for looking that up for me. I appreciate you, buddy. He could have been taking the old lady to Pound Town, but instead he's friggin' looking up parts for me. What a fella. Kind of looks to me like maybe there's remnants of one in there. Maybe that's why it didn't get replaced. Because they're idiots. Let's see. Looks that way to me. That, my friends, is the end of a bearing. And that's what all the metal in this thing was. Can you see in there? Hang on. Can you see that in there? So maybe they did put it in and it just shrapneled. How am I going to get that out? Boy, I don't know. Chisel. Right, to the chisel section. Alrighty, fellas. She's in there. Let's use the arbor press, send it right home. I did have to get medieval with that bearing. Let me show you. Or, yeah, with the race on that old one. Look at this. You see it there on the bench. She's wasted, dude. It's so small. The race is so thin. I tried hitting it with a chisel to get it apart. And, oh, sorry. Come on. There we go. Chisel wasn't touching it. I don't know if we're going to be able to see on the inside of it or not. She don't like that. There you go. Chisel wasn't really, I mean, it would hit it, but it's too thin to get a good purchase on it and like actually cut it, and it's at too much of an angle. So I ended up using one of those die grinder air bits. I hate these things because they make a friggin' mess, but man, there is nothing. Burr bit, that's what I was looking for. Couldn't find the friggin' word, but there's nothing better sometimes when you need them. I just hate the metal everywhere because it always ends up all over my fingers and hands. Before I forget. I don't know if it's a great idea to put that on there or not, but I just don't really want those parts to start dry. Stay there. Alright. Then you know what's crazy to me is this was the only thing centering that prior. Seems sketch. You're dumb. You are really dumb.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Alright, fellas, here's where we're at. I got the mount all cleaned up. You could tell it was like barely friggin' welded. I cleaned up the frame, So that's all ready to go back on there, but my dilemma is that their oil filter. When this is in there, hang on. I can't do nothing left-handed. I'm like freaking retarded. So when this is in there, it kind of goes in there like that. Like that, I do believe is how it goes. But the, it's like just a friggin' disaster. So, and I believe that's why it ripped off, is because they hacked so much of it out to put that oil filter there. So I went digging in the Horde, and the shitty Ford is going to donate some parts. This was the remote oil filter set up off the shitty Ford. I cleaned it up with the parts washer already. But I think I'm going to jam this up in there. And then this is a remote oil filter canister off the first Detroit I've ever bought. So that's kind of cool. But I'm thinking I could jam this like up in there, and it's kind of perfect. So that's my plan. I'll make a bracket, even if it's, you know, hangs down a little bit, it don't matter, but I think that's friggin' titties. I gotta make a bracket to go up there and hold the dang old thing. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then my other dilemma is over here on this side. That starter's right in the way where that mount used to be. That's why they cut it off of there. I haven't cleaned that up or anything yet because, well, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So the idea in my brain is I got the diff assembled but gutted. There's no parts in it. All the stuff's over there on the bench still. So I want to jam this up in here. Get that mount tacked on. We're going to dump the oil filter off and install the remote housing. And then we're going to tack that mount on. And then, you know, roll the diff up in and see where I'm at and how much room is up in here. And that will give, then I'll have an idea about how I can make a mount that isn't in the way of the starter. And you could still, the main thing for me is always serviceability, right? So whatever I do, even if I have to pull the diff, it's like 2 minutes to pull this diff out of here. It's really easy. So even if I have to pull the diff to get the starter out, whatever, no big deal. At least it's, the main thing is just not, I don't have to pull the motor to be doing a freaking starter. That doesn't make any sense at all. And that's, I think, this position they were in. And why they cut that mount out, because it was probably the only way to do that. Well, we're still trickling. It's been like 30 minutes. So, pretty cool. They made these fender liners like removable really easily. I'm really happy about that. So we're going to try loosening the can and get it out that way. I think the problem is it's like airlock, kind of. Is that 5/8? Son of a bitch. Well, for sure it was 9/16. The good news, the other good thing about doing this is we're going to add some oil capacity to the engine, because that is this is a short filter. Oh yeah, that's way better. Get this start flowing. It's definitely way better now. Oh yeah, we're making a mess. Perfect. Just jam this right off. Oh yeah, look at her flow. Oh, that's a mess. Alright fellas, let's get a little mock-up going here. Alright, for what we're doing though. But for actual assembly, we'll have to see if my mount is any better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I can actually put my hand over it. So that's good. It means we can weld a bracket to it. I'll bring it back when I get something squared away, but now you can at least see where I'm going. Alright fellas, we're gonna mount that oil filter can. Hopefully we don't burn to death. Or burn the shop down. Try not to do that. There we go. Alright fellas, here's where we're at. Oil cooler hoses are made. I gotta pull that out of there, tighten them fittings, and then we're gonna paint that. And the same with our adapter up there, we gotta paint that also. But I moved on to getting this mount figured out. And here's what we got going on. I didn't even think about it when it was off, because it seemed like there's so much room in there, but you couldn't get the bolt through. Like, there's no way to get the bolt into it. So what I had to do was, I don't know if I can get you a shot of it, but I oblonged out that hole and I cut the bolt down, and then I oblonged the inside of the bushing just enough to where this can go in and start at an angle and then get in there. And that seems to have done it. So I got to final weld this. It's just tacked in there right now. So I'm gonna buzz that, and then once I know that I can get that in and out of there easily, we got to make a brace from this side over and try to figure out how we're gonna do that, which might just end up being a flat plate that just goes, you know, over to here. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it, actually. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I will bring you back as we get closer. Fellers, I skipped ahead a little bit. Jam the pinion in because I'm not sure if I have to. That's a mystery with how this comes in and out of here. So we tacked this lower mount on. I don't know if I showed you that. And we've had it mocked in place. Over here, that mount is mocked up. But I went ahead and hack fabricated another one. I think if we're lucky, we can get the starter out of here. I didn't try it because I didn't, but it's gonna be close. I think we can do it. The mount is engineerically designed so that we can get the thing out of there. Now I got to make two gussets here, triangular gussets go down on a frame rail. I'm going to do that now, and then I'll tack it up or burn it in and bring you back. All right, fellas. Well, you can see I've gone full Douglas on this deal. Jam the gasket onto it, a little GMS, and the filter. I've got to load that yet. It doesn't have a filter in it, but we'll take this opportunity to change the friggin' oil. How am I gonna even get you in there? I don't know. Let's see what we got. I think there's room for you fellas right there. Let me just tell you, that's real tricky when you can't see nothing. And it's all feel. Don't be our genius. Really not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Click. 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 Gunch. Quick to the hose section. Oh God, I'm worried about that. If anybody's wondering, the shop's a friggin' mess and I can't find anything. I didn't know if you guys were wondering that or not. I'm just curious. Click. Click. Man, that's gonna be super nice. It's actually click, perfectly hidden from view in the front of the truck, so happy about that. Click. Quick to the hosing department. Oh shit, you didn't take the tape off of them. If I got any dumber. Alright. This is the bitch, let's see. I don't know. Not super anxious about this one. Oh, that is hell on your hand. Wow, is that twisted into a position right there, boys. Woo! That's how you get muscles you didn't know you needed. Alright, that's it. Dang, that looks good, huh? Alright, let me show you. So the way that lays out, it's perfect. That hose goes right here. And it just kind of goes up in there. I'll have to put some kind of rub protection on that, whatever that is, the oil cooler housing there. Maybe we'll, I don't know, try to figure something out there. I kind of feel like I could put twist in this hose when I tighten it, and that would keep it right away from it. That's a genius idea.
God damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius!
Yeah, so let's, this is gonna be the real rascal, is, trying to get a wrench on that, son of a bitch. Who designed this? Oh yeah, me. Click. This one I can get at right here, super nice. Yeah, buddy. Click. Alright, fellas. That's ball game there. I'll show you underneath. It's, as far as I could tell, let me know if you see anything I don't, but she's absolutely perfect. Misses that radiator hose. Tons of clearance there. Misses the oil cooler house. It's just, I even got room to grease it. Ha! Gump, you are a genius. That never happens. All right. Boy, I'm so excited about that. It's the small things in life, fellas. All right, so we got to jam a filter in this turd. All right, fellas. This is what that beautiful abortion looks like in person. Your old Uncle Wayne, old Pud, pounded it right to death. Really, really good. Came out really good. There's that other bolt there. This one's holding together. Gonna be a good day. All right, so now we can continue on. I'm gonna put the axles in. Well, took another almost gallon. Between 3/4 and gallon. Look at that, dude. No leaking, just looking fresh to death under there. I'm loving it. Oh God, everything I touch is. I just washed my hands so that I could get in the truck. Damn it. Oh yeah. Steering feels way lighter. Amazing what it'll do when friggin' diff isn't sitting on top of it. Don't worry about that brake light, it's not here for that. It's friggin' snowing. Why wouldn't it be? Turn my dome light on. There we go. Was I in too high? I was kinda in too high. And 4 high now, it says. Getting any light on the feels kind of bindy like it's in 4-wheel drive. You know what? Might as well just go to. I wonder if I just didn't hook that up. We'll go all the way to low. Oh, it's not going to tell me if it's actually in 4-wheel drive, though. It'll just tell me it's in low. Low works. Get it back on the pad and we'll try to make a turn. You know, they kind of scuff. That's what I'm hoping for the first time ever. I hate that feeling usually. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't think that's engaging. Ooh. Quit spinning. Doesn't like that. We gotta kill it. Dang old Detroits, they just want to run. There we go. So, what's the deal here? Think about this. It won't try to engage. It's like I got no power down here. It does come in and out of 2-wheel drive okay. Which it wouldn't do that if that drive shaft wasn't sprinting, right? No, I don't know. I'm supposed to get a light here to show you 4-wheel drive. Maybe I didn't hook it up. No, I did, because it goes into low. I don't know. Fuck. I got hosed on this deal. At least it's a runner. Alright, fellas, that's going to do it for this one. Appreciate you watching. In the next video, we'll look at why the 4-wheel drive still isn't working, and we still got a bunch more tidying up to do, but overall, I'm super happy the way this came out. At least the differential is solidly mounted back up in the chassis, so that's a plus. Huge shout out to all the patrons. Much appreciated for your continued support. Make all this kind of stuff possible. We will see you guys in the next one, and be sure to come check us at On Away. We'll see you up there. Thanks for watching.